bro, fresh out the oven, ready to run. What's hot this week at Jeff's Bagel Run? Jeff and Aaron bring the fun. It's the weekly run, let's get it. The weekly run from Jeff's Bagel Run.
Welcome to the Weekly Run. I'm Jeff.
And I am Aaron.
And today we're talking about what's hot at Jeff's Bagel Run. How are you today, Aaron?
I am doing great. I'm doing fantastic, Jeff. I am happy to be here. I've spent some time in store this week. It always makes me happy. So
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. I saw you early this morning at a office day for a new franchisee. That was fun.
yes.
Yeah, you were deep in it, talking about.
Every time I think it's going to be quick, it's not. And it's not the franchisees, it's me. I won't shut up. I'm like, oh, we can do this. We can do that. There's this thing. It's like show and tell just over and over and over again. And I don't get tired of it. At least I haven't yet.
I mean, show and tell was like my favorite day ever.
Right?
What was your favorite show and tell item? Do you remember?
Man, that's a fantastic question.
I'll tell
I
you mine while you
wish
think
I
about it
knew.
because it's really
Yeah, give me some
sticks.
time.
Yeah. You think about it. I received a miniature New York Yankees bat that was probably like it was
I
made of
remember those mini
it
bats.
was made of real wood, and it
Yeah.
was probably, I don't know, 12 or 15 or 16 inches long or so. And I was a huge baseball fan, and I played baseball. And this is back in the 80s when you'd have to get a pack of baseball cards and memorize the statistics of the players off the back of the cards. Like this is
To know
pre-internet.
anything. Yeah, no
Yeah.
internet, no
You
stat
had
sheets, no apps.
if you knew everything about your team. And I remember it might have been second or third grade. I remember bringing that baseball bat to show and tell and talking about the New York Yankees like I was the owner. I was Steinbrenner. I might as well have been Steinbrenner. It was it's crazy.
That's that's very specific. See, I can't top that. I don't remember anything. I probably didn't bring anything good in. I just like show and tell. The closest thing that I can approximate to is like career day, which I think they call
Mm,
something different in schools now. I think it's called like teach-in or something like that. A little
yeah.
more generic, but it's career day essentially. At least that's what it seems like to me. And so I did that for all my kids. And so I would always bring in something interesting that had lights on it or blinked and then I started making things to bring in. And you're just like, look what I made. Look what I have. I don't know. It's fun.
I
I'll
get
have to think
every
on that. I'll have to see if I've
Yeah,
got
maybe we'll open next
something in the
week with
deep
Aaron. We'll
recess.
do something show and tell with Aaron next week. Maybe we could
I
just
don't know,
bring show
maybe
and
some
tell to the
therapy,
podcast. That'd be fun.
bring these repressed moments. I don't know. Maybe it was always something really lame.
My kids' teachers always ask me to do the teach-in,
Yeah, I'm
and I'm never
not surprised.
available. It's a timing hasn't really worked out with a new store opening or something in the last couple of years.
See, this is the thing with this teach-in, and so have you ever done any of them?
No, I haven't done a single teach-in
Okay,
yet.
so
Yeah.
let me lay the scene for you. There's the parents that just come in and do it, and it's a thing, and then there's the parents that look around other parents and see the lay of the land and who's given the best teaching presentation, who's really getting the kids going. And of course, this is all elementary school, so getting their attention for more than 5 seconds, anyways, is really impressive. And I'm like, oh, great, I've got this thing, and it's a gadget. Kids like gadgets, even if they don't really know what it is or what it does. Like it's a gadget. So I'm like, all right, got this. And the one before me is a cardiologist. I'm like, what's he gonna say? What's a cardiologist gonna say to a bunch of second graders, right? This guy, pro move. I learned something that day. He walks in, 2 trays of cupcakes. Just went to Publix, got cupcakes. So everybody gets a cupcake first off, full of sugar, and then he starts talking about cardiology, and everybody's like, "Oh man, so and so's dad was the best." I'm like, that's the secret move. You either have something really interesting or you have food, and so you have both. So you would really, all the parents would hate you. You'd be the clean sweep.
All right, well, maybe I'll sign up for next year, but when you were telling me a cardiologist, I'm like, did this guy show up with a heart?
He
With
did
second
actually.
graders?
Funny enough,
Oh,
he had.
he did it. He brought a heart.
Those little plastic bottles that they have
Yes, yeah.
in the
Oh,
office? He did show up
that's
with that. So he did
okay.
have he came to play. And
I
so
was
that was like
thinking
one of my first years. I'm like, okay,
I
I
was
can't
thinking
like I'll start preparing for next year.
formaldehyde jar with like a
No,
heart
no,
or
this
something.
isn't like
No, it was fake.
Frankenstein's
Fake heart.
heart.
Fake heart. Okay, fake heart.
This is like the model that has all the pieces and you can like dig it apart.
Yes, I 100%. I get that. All right. Well, I've got the bagels. I've got the
You got
food.
food
I
and
got
you've got
food.
interesting job.
Food and an interesting job. Yeah, I think I could hit a home run. So I think the other Aaron on the team, on our training team, I think he did a teach-in this year for his daughter's class, and he brought bagels, and they
Slam
thought
dunk.
he was he won the
Yeah,
day. He won the day.
best parent. Just a
100%.
clean sweep.
Uh, well, let's see. Yesterday you were in the office when we were doing the photo shoot for
Yes.
the holiday goodies, and then you were in the office this morning just for the franchisee office day, and you rolled up into a Acme smoked fish taste testing. Like you were
That was surprising. It's
you
not often you see, like, tons of just fish on the counter.
tomorrow's meeting at
Smelled
the
good, though.
office is not gonna be nearly as exciting. It's the folks from General Mills talking about flour, so, flour
Uh,
samples just don't hit the
they don't
same
hit the
way.
same.
They don't hit the same way.
Here's a cup of flour.
Here's a cup of flour. Look how well it sifts. I mean, what do you do?
Yeah,
What do we do here? So,
yeah, this is
um,
true.
all right, well, it's been a good week. It's been nice to be back home, but there is something a little sad about this week, Aaron, and that we're only like 10 days left in the peach and pimento LTO.
I feel like it just started. How can we already be there?
It's at the end. You know, this Saturday is a big day in sports. We have the Kentucky Derby, and then we just have 1 week left of peach and pimento.
Mm. I have something to admit. I have not had my pimento for this year, and
You've
so
been
I'm glad that we've talked about this and we've now I know what I gotta get in before it's
you've been
gone.
busy. You gotta go buy a couple of containers of it, put it in the fridge
See,
so you have it.
we were talking about this in the
I know.
store. I was down in O-Town today, and after being at the office, went straight to O-Town, do some testing, but we have, like, a couple of spread flavors that I'm advocating for this now. They just really need to be in pint form and, like, at Publix. Just
I know.
JBR spreads
You
in a pint.
you
Pimento's
said
one of them.
you said this a couple weeks ago. Pimento was on your list. What
Cookie
else?
butter
Okay.
cookie butter, the
Okay.
holiday Biscoff cookie butter one
Yeah.
is a slam dunk. Um,
Did you eat any of that yesterday at the office? Because I had it.
no, no, I missed it.
You were
I
slipping.
don't no, so here's the thing. I tend to get pretty gun shy about photography food
Mm,
just because, Corey's working with that food. I've
fair.
seen Corey,
Fair.
he's prepping it. It sits out on the counter under hot lights for a long time, like, I'm not saying there's not a moment, but if I'm not in at the beginning, I normally have Corey set me off some stuff to the side before he starts,
That's fair.
cordon a little bit off. Anything else, I don't know, Corey's process.
I did see a few bagels to the side yesterday, and I was like, what are those?" He's like, "Those are the ones I touched." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool."
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's really handling this stuff. Looks great in a photo, but not it's not end of shoot appetizing.
I wanna try to build some, like, continuity to our conversation in these podcasts, but this, like, really leads me to the next topic that I wanna discuss and, like, how analog is becoming more and more popular. This I need to rewind and, like, set
Yeah,
this up properly. We were doing a real photo shoot with a camera and real products at the
yeah,
office,
straight up real food.
straight up real food, you know, and I think it's really important that we're using real stuff. I think it presents like the food is supposed to present. What you see is what you get, right? And that builds trust. This is just the way I think. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's my thought process behind it. But then I heard a statistic today that blew my mind and makes me wonder if we are having an analog renaissance. Vinyl record sales eclipse the $1 billion mark.
It seems like too much money. It seems like a lot
1 billion with a B.
for a
They were,
technology that's really already been eclipsed by
yes.
first cassette, then CD, and then now to be back.
It
Well,
was
sorry, cassette, CD, digital, now to be back.
it was the first year that they beat CD sales since
Crazy.
the advent of CDs. They sold approximately 48 million units. I mean,
So what
Taylor Swift sold 1.6 million of those by herself. So there's that.
which that I do believe, and interestingly enough, my teenagers have a record player. They got a record player, and they have a fun mix of buying current stuff, like you said,
Yep.
like new albums on vinyl, but they also love to go to antique stores. We go to an antique store, the
Yeah.
first place they check out is they try to see if there's like a bin of records somewhere of like original press, old stuff, and they go nuts for it. And they'll get the weirdest stuff, and they'll listen to music that my parents listened to because they found some old rock record or something. It's kinda cool. But what's curious about this, it's an interesting fact that you bring up because the other thing I've noticed with my kids is there's this new thing on Spotify. I don't know if you've seen this, but, like, you can get the lossless version of a track. And as my kids play music and I'm seeing them and they're playing music for us or whatever, they're putting out their playlists, that's all they choose.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they fully know what what the lossless really means and what that is, and, like, but it's wild to me that there's such a drive that they're now, I say redigitizing, but they're remastering stuff to go the other way. They're like, "I want the noise, I want the corruption, I want the artifacts
The lack
in
of
the original
perfection.
sound."
Like the lack of perfection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct,
Yeah.
correct. It's a funny swing back.
I think we see this in marketing with really big brands. Every time a really big brand has tried to do some kind of digitized version of their marketing, it's like backfired, right? I don't care if you're McDonald's putting out, you know, fake pictures of salads or whatever. I mean, like
Yeah.
every time we've pushed this envelope of digitization, like every time we've pushed that envelope, humans have pushed back.
Well, I think it's a cycle. It kinda goes back to, we're drawn to uniqueness, we're drawn to scarcity to some degree, and with all of the tools available, scarcity now is the stuff that's imperfect. And that's why handcrafted this or handmade that. I mean, people are drawn to stuff on Etsy that's not mass produced because everything else is so effortlessly mass produced. And so from a consumer, and I'm buying and I'm actually leaning towards and choosing things that are that can kind of like prove to be imperfect, prove to be natural, handcrafted. Like just this draw to something and maybe a little bit more authentic, a little less produced.
Yeah, and I think people are doing this across all categories. I think it shows up in our bagel shops because they really appreciate the fact that the bagel they're eating today started as a bag of flour the day before. There's something to that experience of interacting with a human being in a place, eating food that was made by the person that's standing right in front of you. It I think is I don't know. I think it's really trending, which is crazy because that's just kinda how things should be, but it's not the way it is, and
Yeah.
so it's sort of popular again, which is wild, whether it's vinyl records or, food made by someone who's right in front of you.
Well, I think about that often when I'm in store and I see customers happily waiting for a fresh tray to come out of the oven. We've been around long enough, Jeff, to see some seasons, as they might say.
Yeah.
I think early to mid 90s. Could you imagine a business that made a customer wait for half a second? Unthinkable. Everything had to be ready, produced, systems had to be hyper optimized, and like it was just fast. I mean, every system was dialed towards instant availability, and that's how we grew up. That was just how all businesses ran, with some level of that, as fast as they could go for their business model. That's how fast they
Uh-huh.
went. And it's wild to me to see people come into we're a quick service. So the intent is you want to come in and get your food quickly. So not like a sit down restaurant or anything like that. But customers, when they see that they're going to get something, they're going to see it come out of the oven. It's going to be hot. It's going to, steam's coming off it. They just, I think in their brains, not only is a hot bagel delicious, but I think in their brains they're also like, hey, I can see that this is fresh made. I can see that this was handmade right now. I think that they get a little excited about the fact that it's like coming out of the oven
Yeah.
as an experience, not just a flavor. Like, the
Yes.
experience of getting something it could be more fresh.
How much of that do you think is just us projecting on our kids?
Who knows?
Because, you know,
Who knows?
I was on the we talked I think we might have discussed this, but I was on the 5th grade field trip to Epcot a few weeks ago as the chaperone, and Emily, my 5th grader, has a one of those, disposable film cameras, you know, a
Yeah,
Kodak orange and
I remember those
yellow
guys.
with the crank on the she didn't know how to use it. You know, I had to teach her how to take pictures with her friends, and she's like, "Well, how do I know where to take, like, the selfie, right?" And I'm like, "Well, you don't.
That's a gamble.
You let someone take the picture or one of you isn't in it."
Yeah,
It's just but I was happy to encourage that because I think it's great. She's like, "How do you know what they look like?" You don't.
it's a gamble.
You get 24 chances to get 2 or 3.
Yeah, yeah. It's one and done. It's not like 30 tries. You snap it and you go.
Yeah. But I think there's something so valuable in that for this generation and even for us, you know, having lived a bit of the ride up inefficiency and
Yeah.
digitization. We rode that ride all the way to now.
Oh, yeah.
And I kind of do enjoy seeing it level out a little bit because I can remember being my kid's age, you know, rewind 30 years, maybe 35, but rewind that many years back and
Just a couple.
just a couple. I would sit with my parents and, you know, listen to their 45s and listen to their records. And
Yeah.
that was fun to go through their crates and see the music. And, you know, now I'm just like searching for playlists on my phone for my kids to listen to the music that I listen to, which is, I don't know, it, it feels nice to have something physical, something real. And I believe there's going to be a whole slew of businesses over the course of the next 10, maybe 15 years as AI and digitization and things that aren't real life seemingly take over real life stuff.
Yeah.
I believe there'll be a whole side of the economy that's driven by, you know, in real life stuff.
I tend to agree, and I think it'll hit when this generation again, thinking about our kids, when this generation hits 20s and 30s, and they start sort of looking for something new. Like, right now, it's great. All this stuff is new because 'cause they're young, and every year is new, and everything that they encounter is new. But after kinda like with us, like, we're a very nostalgic generation. That's why every movie is a remake from some movie we loved when we were kids.
Nothing original
So,
anymore.
nothing just because we all wanna just go back.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
whole generation just wants to go back. We loved it so much.
We
We
just want to
just
live in
can't.
that time again. We're like,
Yeah,
take us
just
back.
can't let it
I
go.
some I ask people, they're like, "Oh man, this just must be." People will say to me things like, "Oh, it must be so surreal. Like, what a great time to be in your life with like this business growing around you." I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, man. Like, my 10-year-old was like super hyped to get the Florida license plate with her name on the back and hang it off of her bike and like actually pedal her bike and like ride
Yeah.
around. And I remember those days, man. Like, being 10 was awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Hey,
mattered was, like, your bike and your friends, and that's all you had to care about. That was it.
listen, those starter jackets were
Oof.
next level.
We drank from water hoses, you know, I mean, it was a different time, Aaron, it was a different time.
Well, you can relive it. Records are coming back, clearly. So,
Yeah, to the tune of $1 billion and 48 million units sold. It's pretty insane. So, I mean, good. I'm glad the kids are listening to it, and they're better. The record players are better. I don't know if you have an old record player in your household or if it's like
no, we bought one for my son. He was like a Christmas gift. We bought him a
yep.
record player. So, new unit, but classic style. And yeah, they just started building a record collection, and like I said, they're fun. They don't get he doesn't get new ones as much as he gets. Like I said, we'll be somewhere that has old records, and
I love that.
it's the classic flipping through, just trying to find something just to
I
see what hits.
I immediately did a bunch of research on record players and, like, because I needed to know, like, how this what's the situation. They're not They're not cheap, and
Mm,
they have all the
there
modern technology. You can buy one that's Bluetooth enabled, and you can stream it to your, household
that's
speakers or whatever. It's
that's
really
what this
cool.
is.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But you gotta be careful of the loss, man. You gotta get the lossless. You gotta get that true.
You gotta get that sound. I just
At some point, these guys are gonna be teenagers, and they're gonna be super all the audio files are gonna have the old Victrolas that are, like, needled directly into cone, no electronics, fully analog.
my mother-in-law has one of those.
No way.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
no just, like, straight to the cone
yeah,
from the needle?
yeah. I'll
Wow.
next time I'm over at her house, I'll send a picture of it. Yeah.
That's what I think it's probably, like, that's some Antiques Roadshow
It might
fodder right
be,
there,
yeah,
man.
she's got a few old things that she has held on to from people that have, given her things along the way, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's wild.
She's got one of those, it's crazy, so, I don't know, anyway, I just found that fascinating, and I think there's a place for it, and I had to get your take, so, I just needed to know because you are, like, the most digital guy in the office. Like, I mean, you are our tech leader. You are the person pushing this agenda upon us.
I always equate it this is true, but I always equate it to, like, the Michelin chef that's getting Taco Bell on the way home. I don't wanna do it at my house. My house probably has the most basic, lamest network setup. The house is sad. It is sad right now. It's bad.
No, I don't,
It's bad. I'm a Light
yeah,
at home.
that's so funny. I love that. Well, I'm sad to see Pimento go. I'm happy to see Analog on the rise. This week, we're coming off of back-to-back openings. We had our
Mm.
Nolensville store, we had our Villages location both open, and we're sort of in this, like, deep breath, we can relax a little bit, but there's 9 more lined up, ready to go, and they're coming. The next one's probably 3 or 4 weeks away, and the Villages had a great opening, Nolensville had a great opening. I was at both. The Villages was wild. Aaron, uh, if you if you're a listener, one of the 17 of you, if you don't know what the Villages are, it is a
Google it first.
it is a master planned 55 and up deed restricted community, and it lives as a retirement mecca for near retirement or in retirement seniors, and
And community undersells it. We basically treat it as a city/town
it is a
here.
city. It is a city. It has its own newspaper. It has the 5th largest circulated newspaper in America.
Yeah,
It's huge. It is massive. It's all connected via trails that you can drive golf carts on.
yeah. There's really no
So
describing it. It's so
you
interesting.
have to experience it, and I have never really experienced the Villages before. I mean, I'm a young person. I don't have anyone that I know in that age range that lives in the Villages, so I've never visited it. I've never spent time there, and living in it for 3 or 4 days as part of the opening store team was fascinating. It was really fascinating. I worked in senior living right before I started the bagel run. Um, I was in assisted and independent living, and I worked with, the greatest generation. I was having lunch with them every day. I was spending time in their home, in our communities. Going and kind of seeing these folks in action, living their life was really cool. It was really neat. I met a 101-year-old World War II veteran.
This is wild.
Wild. It's fascinating to think that that man that I met was at one point 18 years old, and he was, like, at D-Day. He was there.
Yeah, that's something
Wild.
that happens in movies,
Not in real
not
life.
not
Not in
real
real life.
humans that you meet.
And he was so gracious at this time, and he was uh, just couldn't. He was so happy to express how grateful we were to be opening there, that he loved bagels, and that he was thrilled to have bagels in the
What
Villages.
bagel did he get, though? Were you with him when he
I wasn't with him when he ordered,
Oh,
and I didn't ask him which one he ordered. I didn't. I should have. I was fascinated. He would just, you know, he had talked about a little bit briefly, very briefly about his service and having been in World War II, but then he immediately transitioned to what it was like to be a business owner after the war, running a business with his brother, and it was
Interesting.
really cool. It was really cool. Yeah. Um, so he was much more interested in talking about that than he was anything else. Just tons of amazing people came through. I got a personalized note on the back of a Jess Bagel Run bag from one of our customers. It was really nice. I think there is I mean, we talk about generational differences between our kids and us. And like, I think about that group of folks. They're, you know, call it mid 70s into the, I don't know, into the hundreds and ones, maybe, into the 90s. These are folks who saw so many world events, so many changes in technology, so many changes in the way they lived their lives, and they're still here, showing up every day.
Well, they definitely showed up.
I
I
mean,
was watching I
they
was
were there.
watching the
We
order
had a
counts and the
we
customer
had
counts, and I was like, "Oh, you guys are busy.
we had a line
You
every
must be
day.
tired."
So tired. There was a line every day from about 7:30, a little bit later start for this group. They weren't, banging down the door. Grand opening day, we had a nice line right at 6:30, but Saturday, Sunday, it started around 7:30, but it never stopped after that. It went straight up until 2, and then, we had to start turning people away because you gotta close up. You actually have
At some point,
you have to close it. If you don't, they just keep coming. Um, and that was the case the last 2 days as well. So just took the weekend, and it's as if there was no days off up there because
that's
they're retired. It's a
that will be
densely
interesting.
a densely populated retirement community. I mean, we don't have any stores that this is gonna be a really fun
Oh,
test
yeah,
because
because we were talking about that. What's a Tuesday versus a Saturday
based on
if you're
our
not working a 40-hour week?
based on our traffic counts and based on the sales in the store today and yesterday,
Yeah,
there is no difference between a Saturday and a Tuesday. It is the same
there's
thing
none, which
because
is crazy.
when every day is a Saturday and that's your life as a retiree.
I gotta tell you, I'm getting a little jealous talking about it and thinking about it. I'm
Yes.
like, the more you know, take the cart over, get some bagels. It's a Tuesday. Hit the course afterwards. Like, it's not bad. It's
Ugh,
not a bad setup.
Aaron, we could be playing pickleball every day.
Man, I'm almost healed up. Like, I'm starting to walk normal again. So, I think I'm ready.
We could play
Think I'm
pickleball
ready for it.
every day. Just think
Could
one
you
day.
imagine the competitive pickleball that's going on? I wouldn't even
Absolutely.
go there. They would
Dude,
destroy us.
we would get smoked. It wouldn't even be close. We would get smoked. I mean, you've lived in Florida a long time. You've expressed on the
That's true.
pod that you left the Northeast to come to
Yeah.
Florida for the weather. Where do you retire? Where do you go to retire? Like, do
I've
you go
thought
back?
about this.
Have you thought about this? What's
I've
your
thought
plan?
about this.
Okay.
Not that retirement is as close as one may want, but,
Yeah. Tell
I
me about
have thought about the whole thing. If you live in the retirement place, where do you go?
Yes.
And honestly, there's some days where I'm like, I don't know that I need to go anywhere. I guess not go to work the next day, but outside of that, I don't know that I need to journey too far. Although I did hear this trend. This is something that I heard from other people, is I guess Northerners, they do a thing called halfback. So you move all the way down to Florida, you live in Florida, and then you go halfway back. So the retirement is like the Carolinas or like Virginia,
Coastal
and that's
Virginia, probably. Yeah.
exactly. Mostly the Carolinas from what I've picked up, like, you pop
Okay.
up into the low country, you have, like, a little bit more of a winter. Maybe you're more toward the mountains, so it gets a little cooler, so you can you pretend you have a season, as opposed to, New England. So half back, that's what I've heard. So
I've not
maybe
heard
that's
that.
in my cards, I don't know.
I've not heard that term before, but I think that aligns with sort of things that like Danielle and I have talked about how like it would be nice to go to a place that has some seasons. Like Florida's great. I love it
Yeah,
90% of the time. Um,
I've I've lived the other way. I
I
can tell you,
don't.
I would up that number higher.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But I do think that I would like to see something that's got a little like elevation change, some undulation to the landscape would be nice. I miss that. I think when I go places that have hills. It's not, maybe it's just novel because I'm not used to it.
I
I'm
think
not,
it's novel, and I can appreciate it because I'll go out for, like, a 5K jog in my neighborhood, and I'll come back, and my elevation change was, like, 11 feet on the whole 5K,
yeah,
and I think, like, 3 feet of that's my driveway. It's just kinda coming out of the street, so, like, I get the lack of elevation, but I will say this, one of the last times I went back to New England, and I grew up in Southern Maine, so, definitely much more dynamic landscape, I guess you could say.
sure. Yeah.
But it is very hard to drive back there. Like, I'm driving, I'm like, "Did I drive in these places as a teenager? This is insane." Like, everything's, like, just winding roads, and you're going up and down, and there's, like, blind everything.
Yep.
It's, like, impossible to drive. I'm like, "How did I do this as
I,
a teenager?" So, it sounds great, but is it? Is it
I drove
really?
to the store in I drove to the store in Nolensville in the dark at like 4 o'clock in the morning, and
Exactly.
there's like a hill, and the lights of the car create this shadow, and you don't know which way the road goes after that. I was terrified the whole time. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just gonna stay here. Maybe we're gonna
It's a
retire in the villages. I don't know.
Listen, the Villages is selling a pretty big dream right now, although I do need to get up there. I wanna see that store.
Gotta see it in action.
I
We can
wanna
do a
see a
road trip.
store that
We
has
can we can bring our pickleball paddles,
ooh,
bring our uniforms, bring some bagels to the court, and just challenge
okay.
people. Oh, that could be
Wow.
so much fun.
Open challenge.
Open
Just
challenge. I'll play you for bagels.
no. Play us for a half dozen.
Play us for bagels.
We'll just have a stack of boxes.
Just
Why
like,
is it that this yeah, like, if you could beat us, you get a box of bagels, which everybody will.
yeah, I mean, they
So
will
it
all
won't
beat us. They won't even have to try. Like, we won't even have to throw it.
which is
We're
great
gonna
because
get
we wanna give
crushed.
away the bagels.
100%.
That's the play, I'm telling you.
That's
I
some
don't
hot
know
marketing.
why we get stuck doing marketing's job on this podcast every time, but
Every time. Every time.
it's a burden. It's
Someone's
a
gotta
heavy
someone's gotta do the heavy lifting. Just saying. Someone's gotta do the heavy.
Katrina's like, "All these ideas are terrible." It's the least favorite part of the podcast.
We're getting feedback for this, definitely.
She's like, "You need to edit that part out."
Oh, that's so funny. Well, Aaron, this has been a super fun chat. Always great to catch up on the pod. Bake fresh, bring joy, build community. See you again next week.
Yo, fresh out the oven, ready to run. What's hot this week at Just Bagel Run? Jeff and Aaron bring the fun. It's the weekly run, let's get it. The weekly run from Just Bagel Run.